Good evening. My name is Jim Schwartz, and welcome to the Barstow School and this spectacular commencement exercise. To the parents, family, and friends of the graduates, last year I was sitting in your chair, and I remember the emotions. There are multiple emotions, but mostly an emotion of pride. We share that emotion with you tonight. Graduates, we are so proud of you and the indelible contributions you have made to the school. Enjoy this special evening and bask in the glow of your accomplishments. Now, as chair of the Barstow Board, I represent my very talented fellow trustees who work tirelessly on behalf of the school to ensure Barstow achieves its ultimate mission, to promote sound scholarship and to give symmetrical development to mind, body, and character. Graduates, we hope that your time at Barstow truly delivered upon this mission. Although Barstow is one of the oldest independent schools in the nation, we are not content to sit back and rest on past achievements. This year was no exception. We achieved 14th world ranking in robotics, debate ranked top 10%, including in the United States, including 3 academic All-Americans, 8 congressional gold medal recipients, 18 all-city students in the Kansas City Science Fair, ranked 4th in the state for Knowledge Bowl, award-winning musical productions and media publications. 4 of our students are top ratings at the State Musical Festival. 42 awards were given to Barstow students at the World Language Film Festival. 2 of our students signed letters of intent to play collegiate sports. Tennis, track, and golf teams advanced to state competition, and so many more. As a board, we are always mindful of our fiscal responsibility, and we have therefore embarked on a strategic plan to further the school's overall mission. Barstow has broad reach and appeal beyond the city limits of Kansas City, and we will continue to expose our students to the world and invite a limited number of students from around the world to join our community. This year, we will also embark on a new journey by strengthening our student exchange program with Australia and Japan, and look to also add Germany as a partner. In addition, the school is in the process of opening an international campus in China, with revenue from this venture supporting the Barstow School in Kansas City. Now, this is all wonderful information to have, but the real reason we are here tonight is to honor these young men and women sitting up here on stage. These soon-to-be graduates have satisfied the rigorous standards of the Barstow School and stand well prepared to take their next step in their educational journey. From our lifers to our most recent newcomers in this class, these students, your children, have been exceptionally well prepared by this amazing group of faculty. I have firsthand knowledge with many of them, and they are truly amazing. So graduates, to paraphrase a famous quote, dream as big as you dare, because you just never know when that big dream will come true. We wish you all the best, and please, don't forget us. On behalf of the Barstow Board of Trustees, I would like to thank you for your support and for your decision to send your child to the Barstow School. Thank you and good evening.
Good evening and welcome. Miss Mary Barstow and Miss Ada Braun came to Kansas City in 1884, responding to the need to establish a local school comparable with the outstanding independent schools in the East. The 2 Wellesley graduates, along with the support of several notable families in the rapidly growing city, founded the Barstow School at 12th Street and Broadway. From the book Standards High, Barstow's First 100 Years, author Walter Brayman writes, "Barstow is an old school, but it doesn't feel like one. A school building is only a shell. The school is what happens in the building. The school is strongly linked to its past and educational ideals and practices. characteristics of student life, and community support. To examine what is old and what is new at Barstow is really to think about the continuity and change in our history. Commencement, more than any other event at Barstow, is a time for reflecting on and remembering the school's storied past while looking to the bright future that lies ahead, not only for our talented graduating seniors, but for the entire Barstow community. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our salutatorian for the evening. Joseph Lennart III has attended the Barstow School since the 7th grade and has maintained high academic and ethical standards since his arrival in 2007. He has been an anchor for Barstow's debate team, participating in debate for all of his 6 years at Barstow, becoming Barstow's National Forensic League president, and receiving the designation of National Forensic League All-American. Joseph is an active member of the Barstow Improv Group and training manager for Carrier Centers. He has been Barstow's Honor Council president for both his junior and senior years. Joseph is an Eagle Scout, a member of Barstow's Cum Laude and National Honor Society chapters, and a regular host on the Barstow Television Network. In rare free moments, he enjoys camping with friends and listening to hip-hop. Joseph will attend Georgetown University in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our salutatorian, Joseph Lennart III.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Good evening, and thank you for coming to the graduation of the class of 2013. Your presence here means a lot to my classmates and me. I would specifically like to thank the parents of the class of 2013, the Board of Trustees, the administration, faculty and staff, as well as everyone who helped make all of the graduation activities run so smoothly. Without all of you, none of us would be here today. Like Mr. Foster said, graduation is largely a time of reflection. Reflection on who we have become and our accomplishments at Barstow, while also looking towards the future for perhaps greater freedom and opportunities at the colleges we have been striving towards for years. But instead of focusing on the future during this time, for me, this reflection period requires me to think about the first time I walked through those double doors to the right of me as a Barstow student and entered what I would find to be my home for the next 6 years. So let's rewind. It's the fall of 2007, and I'm entering the 7th grade at Barstow after going to a Catholic school for 3 years. The dynamics of the Catholic school were akin to every typical middle school depicted in every television show known to humankind. There were the jocks, the kids who had been there since the beginning of preschool, and the usual amount of girl cliques. I was nerdy. Well, let me rephrase that. I am nerdy now, but I was much more so then. I was a little skinnier, if that's humanly possible, and much shorter. As I stepped into Barstow for that first time as a nerdy shrimp of a student, I thought I was walking into the same school structure as my previous Catholic school, but this time I would be walking to a much preppier version. However, after spending roughly 5 seconds in the school, my fears were alleviated as I began my slow walk to my locker in the corner of the middle school. I met some of my now great friends as I walked through the halls on that first day. I encountered a Mr. Wakar Zuberi with significantly less stubble, moseying through the halls, ready to go to Mr. Byers' first hour science class. I shook hands with a young Will Canan, searching through the halls for his now lost geography book. And I received a huge bear hug from, who else, Braden Nyhart. Hanging out with these guys and later talking with the other students and teachers in our small classes that day made me realize that I had joined something bigger, something better than I could have ever imagined when I first ventured through those doors. I'd found a group of students who were willing to accept me for my nerdy ways and be outgoing and welcoming. I'd become a member of a community of friends. Fast forward to today. The group of 7th graders who welcomed me into the Barstow community 6 years ago have clearly grown taller and more intelligent, but at their utmost essence haven't changed a bit. because at their core, the kindness of these students, who I'm lucky enough to call my friends, has not ceased, but become bolstered within the upper school. This kindness appears in the little quirks that I will remember of the members of the class of 2013. Waving or nodding at each other passing through the halls, the small conversations we share in Mr. Adams' locker nook or the senior lounge, and the spirit that we have as we scream out each senior's name at a pep rally or a soccer game. These are people that are not in the business of fighting and trying to get an advantage over each other, but friends who wish the best for each and every one of us in our future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the class of 2013. Now, thank you. If it's going well in the middle part, maybe, that'll continue. Now, perhaps this is the point of the speech where other speakers would give advice to all of you about how to live the next phase of your life as college students or being in the military. But frankly, class of 2013, we're all just about to undertake the same journey together, college or the military, and the real world afterwards. So for all of us, this is uncharted territory, and I do not wish to give you non-authentic advice. Instead, I wish to reiterate a lesson that you all taught me when I first arrived at Barstow as a 7th grader and have continued to teach me to this day. It is this: be a friend. Be a strong, vibrant, caring, loving, true friend, always. Now let me be the first to admit, this task will be easier for some than others. I struggle with it constantly. None of us is perfect. We won't be friends with everyone that we meet, but it is a goal to which we should strive as we enter the new arena of our respective futures. As you well know, the class of 2013 consists of some of the best students in every area. We have chemical geniuses, powerful writers, and creative artists as evidenced by the art currently hanging in the Embry Gallery. We've learned how to write a superb English paper, know the difference between mitosis and meiosis from biology, and can list off a variety of the causes of the Civil War by heart, I promise. We have gained the skills necessary to succeed in college or whatever path we choose and beyond. However, if we don't attempt to craft the same connections we have made at Barstow with others and make larger, stronger communities with the same fervor that we have had as Barstow students, I feel as though we would do a disservice to the love this community has shown to us and to the people this school has called us to be as upper school and Barstow students. In about half an hour, time me, Mr. Foster will repeat these words to us after we all have received our diplomas. You are the class of 2013. You are the Barstow School. These are the same words that he repeats to every class, but these words will mean more to me because the members of the class of 2013 helped define to me what it means to be a true friend and to truly be the Barstow School. To be outgoing, always, to fight for who and what I love, constantly, and to occasionally throw away my serious demeanor and be silly. As we enter into the next phase of our lives and meet others from all corners of the globe, I challenge each member of the class of 2013 to be the person that you would want to be friends with in the future. Be the person that others go to for advice and comfort. Be the person that creates connections with and learns from others and shares their experiences with not only those other people, but with the world. Be what Barstow was for me 6 years ago, and in turn, be that Barstow for everyone you meet in the future. You all showed me what it means to be this person. I have full faith you can do it. Thank you.
Our valedictorian this evening is Judson Woods, who first arrived on the campus of the Barstow School in the 9th grade and made an instant impact in athletics, student publications, and community outreach. As a junior, Judson received the Congressional Award Gold Medal, as well as several of Barstow's top academic awards. In his senior year, Judson captained the varsity soccer, basketball, and baseball teams, demonstrating exceptional leadership in and out of the classroom. For the last 2 years, he has served as co-executive producer for the Barstow Television Network, presiding over the transformation of the Broadcast Center, which includes producing daily shows. In addition to his other activities, Judson actively participates in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Carrier Centers, and the Knowledge Bowl team, showcasing Barstow's commitment to excellence. Judson will be attending Harvard University this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, our valedictorian, Mr. Judson Woods.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. And once again, welcome to the Barstow School for the commencement ceremony for the class of 2013. I don't know if anyone on stage here tonight could ever thank the people in the audience enough for their time at this school. Being able to attend Barstow with this group of people has been more than amazing. As a class, we have faced our fair share of adversity, but we have always supported each other, whether it be through a funny picture posted on the class Facebook page or a simple greeting in the morning after a difficult night. And I'm sure that we've had our fair share of doubters. People who didn't think that this ragtag group of high school students could ever come together as a united class and make a name for itself. We all have heard the labels as well. Hipsters, miscreants, and maybe nerds. But that has never stopped us from pursuing what we individually hold dear to each one of us. Though it might have seemed like many of us were wandering aimlessly through our high school careers without a defined purpose, I can guarantee that we all found something important at the end of the journey. What that is for each person, I can honestly say that I don't know. But I do know for a fact that whatever we found once that last bell rang means something. I know that sounds really vague and doesn't really explain anything, but with this group up here, that might be an apt description. Anyone who has ever attended, worked at, or even just has been associated with Barstow knows about the school's mission: to promote sound mind, body, and character in every person that walks the halls. Undoubtedly, many people have stood in the same spot that I currently occupy and spoke about one of those ideals. How the teachers stimulate a passion within the students to discover more than just the subjects in the textbook or the notes on the chalkboard. And how we as students have the opportunity to chase after our dreams in the variety of classes and extracurricular activities available. Classes should encourage a search for excellence, a determination to shine in all fields. And all these attributes typically given to Barstow are completely true. We as a class have embodied them throughout our time at the school, and we have the accomplishments to show for it. We have the high grades, the athletic, academic, and theatrical awards, and a nice list of universities that we will be attending during the next phase of our life. But at the end of the day, those achievements are not what will define the class of 2013. We represent more than just the numbers that can be displayed in a school brochure or on a board in the hall. Members of this class, no matter how exceptional the resume, always have another dimension to them beyond their accomplishments. For example, we have a cross-country and track state champion who smashed pretty much every distance record at Barstow during his time here. We all know him as one of the most fun-loving guys in the school, who will do anything to make the dreams of those around him a reality. We have an absolute soccer stud with immeasurable talent that could score a goal whenever she had the ball. But to our class, she's the girl that makes everyone around her smile with her vibrant personality. And I can go on and on about every person seated behind me. We all represent to one another more than just the sum of our abilities or successes. While we are still productive members of the school, we always place value on what we wanted to. And oftentimes, what was important to us was, simply put, each other. Dating back to sophomore year, this year's senior class has always controlled the hallway where most of our lockers resided. Our sophomore year was the debut of the beloved Party Cove, which is a small locker area outside of Ms. Zimmerman's room. No matter the assignments due that week or even that day, one could always find a group of sophomores hanging out in the Party Cove, blasting music or listening to someone play a familiar tune on the guitar. And that camaraderie has remained every year. Sometimes learning how to figure out that difficult chemistry or geometry problem was the first thing on our minds. But most of the time, we cared more about the person seated behind us or sitting next to us. We wanted to know what every person's favorite song or movie was, rather than the probability of choosing a red or blue marble out of a bag. Speaking of movies, shows, songs, the class of 2013 has a crazy passion for pop culture. We absolutely obsessed over movies like The Great Gatsby and Batman, TV shows like The Walking Dead or Breaking Bad, and actors like Robert Downey Jr. or Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling. The actor famous for roles in The Notebook, Crazy Stupid Love, and Drive, renowned for his exquisite fashion sense and style. Adored for his washboard abs and blonde hair that looks perfect regardless of the way it's combed. It really did not matter what the topic was in English class, because the conversation would inevitably end up revolving around Ryan Gosling. I could make an argument saying that we obsess over him because of some psychological impulse that he triggers within us, that seeing him makes us question ourselves and strive to reach the pinnacle of perfection that he so obviously exemplifies. But it might be a whole lot simpler than that. I think we connect to Ryan Gosling just because we love him as an actor and love the roles that he portrays. And regardless of the differences that make each one of us so unique, a love of Ryan Gosling is the force that bound us all together. While we strove for perfection in our individual objectives, we never passed up the opportunity to spend time with each other. Whether it was a casual weekend trip to the Agricultural Hall of Fame or going to a soccer game after school, there was constant support. The goal of one member of our class was the goal of the entire class. So maybe we had more on our minds than just academics. But we all made it to this point here, and I'm pretty sure we all came close to attaining everything academically that we ever desired. And along the way, we discovered a new fact about the person seated next to us. We made new friends that we can lean on for the rest of our lives, and we became a class with a bright future. We've gone through a lot of change during our time at Barstow. Teachers and students have left, and others have filled their places. The school has gone through renovations, and occasionally some classes have changed locations. The world around us has transformed. And through it all, we have remained unique and maintained the qualities that some questioned or even thought strange. Don't let your next stop in life change you either. Be able to adapt to that change, sure, but always hold on to what you truly love. Remember how you got to this point in your life. Thank the people that helped you along the way. Parents, family, friends, teachers, coaches. The yearbook this year was called Retrospect because this year's class has shared so many memorable moments together. Never forget the times you had with everyone on stage and in the audience tonight. When you're facing rough times in the future, look back on your experiences at Barstow, and I'm sure you can find something to smile or laugh at. I'm going to be honest here. I spent a lot of time on this speech, revising it, reading in front of the mirror in my bathroom, making sure that every word came out like it was supposed to. I stressed over messing up a word or phrase or even forgetting to read an entire paragraph. I worried that I wouldn't have the motivation to complete my final high school assignment. I remember talking to Chris about some ideas I had for this speech and laughing about the fact that I'm being rewarded for my hard work with more work. But the thing that actually made this speech so difficult to write was finding the words that give this class justice for what each individual means to me and for what they all mean to each other. So classmates, embrace the future. This is just one stop in what should be a long and wonderful ride. I'm so glad that I could be a part of it. As you look back on your experiences here, remember the golden class, the class of 2013. Thank you.
Our faculty speaker tonight is Mr. Bob Kohler, the Assistant Head of Upper School and Director of Theatre. Bob graduated from Creighton University in 1986 and promptly entered the teaching field, returning to his alma mater, St. Pius High School in Kansas City. Over the years, Bob has taught courses in theology, drama, English, music, and psychology. He has enjoyed a career in theater as a director, stage manager, and performance on many Kansas City stages, including the Unicorn Theater, Kansas City Repertory Theater, Theater in the Park, the Barn Players, and the Coterie Theater. He has also worked in films, television commercials, and radio. He is currently pursuing a Master of Theater Studies in Production and Design at Southern Oregon University in Ashland, Oregon, the home of the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Bob became the director of theater in 2005 and has produced numerous plays and musicals for the Barstow School, including a touring production that premiered at the 2010 Edinburgh Festival Fringe in Scotland. Bob also serves as the assistant head of Upper School. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Bob Kohler.
A brass pomp and circumstance march is heard, its familiar tune fading as the lights come up on the exterior of a school, its red brick walls providing the backdrop for an obvious commencement ceremony, and its name clearly marked in aluminum mid-20th century letters on the side of the building, the Barstow School. The graduates sit in tiered risers in rows facing the audience, the boys in black tux, the girls in white gowns holding red bouquets tied with ribbon. All are smiling. The welcomes have been spoken, valedictory and salutatory speeches delivered. The sound of applause swells as a speaker takes the podium. Wearing the mandatory black gown and hood, sporting the colors of his university and degree earned. Not too tall, but not too short. He's a man just this side of 50, though clearly his spirit is quenched in a fountain of youth and energy. He seems nervous, or maybe he's just excited. It's hard to tell. But the adrenaline responsible for both chemical reactions in the body is clearly present in this man. His face is flushed, his hands slightly shaking, but behind his glasses, his eyes are bright, alert, focused. He clears his throat and addresses the audience. Good evening, all administrators, faculty, staff, parents, family, alums, and especially you, the class of 2013. I'm honored to be speaking here tonight. There are some things that might go through a teacher's head when asked to deliver the 2013 commencement speech. Will my speech be half as good as Mr. Crumb's was last night? Will the English teachers find mistakes in my writing? Will it be meaningful? If I don't talk fast enough, will the debate students even understand me? Will Mona and Mrs. Harper cry? Will it be a good length? And who will win that faculty pool that Mr. Luce holds every year to guess the exact moment that the last graduate steps off the stage? Will I suddenly develop Tourette's saying something inappropriate? And then there's the question of content. Should I mention things that have happened over the years? Personal anecdotes from my cherished times with you guys. From middle school and upper school, plays and musicals, class experiences, the lock-in, the retreat, the buddy days, speech tournaments, BTVN, Scotland, all of those life-changing moments where I have witnessed your growth and development that led you to now being the young women and men that I've come to know and love dearly. In short, I wonder, will what I say tonight speak to and inspire the Barstow class of 2013? Well, you get what you pay for, folks, or in this case, whom. And who I am is different to each graduate on this stage. To some, I'm a theater director. to many a teacher, to others a disciplinarian, or even perhaps a mentor and a friend. And tonight I'll speak in all of those voices and in the voices of many more characters whom I will draw upon to illustrate very dramatic and valuable points tonight. Tonight, I will present a bit of theater. So silence your cell phones, sit back, and enjoy the show. In the Pulitzer Prize-winning play, You Can't Take It With You, Grandpa spends his retirement doing what he wants to do. And one of the things he enjoys is attending commencement exercises and watching the graduates. After one such commencement, he comes home and he gives his take on the event. They just sit there in cap and nightgown and get their diplomas, and then along about 40 years from now, they suddenly say, "Where am I?" He then offers the reason why fireworks aren't shot off at commencements. He says, "They don't make enough noise. You take a good commencement orator, and he'll drown out a whole carload of fireworks and say just as much, too." Well, the audience chuckles at both these statements, for we recognize the kernel of truth in Grandpa's wisdom. You Can't Take It With You is a play about choosing to live a life that gives you fulfillment, that gives you and others in your life joy. It's about being happy and making others happy. In short, the 1936 play offers the meaning of life. The Greek philosopher Aristotle believed in the imitation of life in art, that art imitates life, and this was expressed in the sculpture, the painting, and the theater of ancient Greece. Oscar Wilde, in his essay of 1889, said that life imitates art far more than art imitates life. And today, it often feels like the chicken and the egg conversation. Art and life being so linked that it's hard to imagine one without the other in our popular culture. That being so, can we then use similar terms and language to discuss both? Can our lives be works of art? I'm going to continue this conversation with, I'm sure will be no surprise to many of you, with a discussion of the highest of all the art forms, drama. For drama utilizes all of the other art forms, painting, sculpture, architecture, music, dance, literature, and is therefore a cooperation of many artists working together in the expression of ideas, in the imitation of life. And today's dramas have venues way beyond the Greek amphitheater. This is true whether it's the Barstow School's stage production of Godspell, Baz Luhrmann's Great Gatsby film, the BBC's Doctor Who, or the video game Worlds of Warcraft. Drama expresses the lives of people acted out in front of an audience. It's the expression of the human experience in conflict. And according to Aristotle, there's plot and theme and characters and music, spectacle, language, right? These terms he used to explain and analyze the art form called drama, and I'm going to use them to look at and analyze life, so specifically the lives of these graduates. Do you get that? I want you to analyze your life as a piece of dramatic literature. Apply the language and the rules of theater to how you view yourself and those around you, the struggles, the conflicts, the goals, the choices, and the actions of your own life's story. First things first. Here's an easy one. Identify the protagonist. Whose story is this? Well, it's your story, right? You're the protagonist of your own life. It's you who is facing whatever comes your way in the form of conflict or in the form of opportunity. While you may be the secondary character in someone else's story, in your drama, you're the central character, the protagonist, the star of the show. Now decide whether this is a comedy or a tragedy. In one, our protagonist, you, prevails over the conflicts encountered, and in the other one, our protagonist, you, falls victim to his or her own internal conflict. Your hubris. Our own selfishness and arrogance and ambition and jealousy can get in the way and make it impossible to make choices that will actually better our lives and the lives of those around us. Macbeth, Hamlet, even Romeo and Juliet, they all made selfish choices that ended in their own tragedy. Sure, we talk about the idea of fate, predetermining these characters' destinies, and we romanticize the stories of famous Shakespearean characters. But actually, Shakespeare was a proponent of free will, of the necessary ability for humans to make their own choices. It's the choices we make that determine our destiny, and all of these characters were presented with choices. Their stories are tragic, not because of bad luck or evil antagonists or some witches that cursed them, or they went to the wrong college, but because they got in their own way. So, fellow protagonists, don't be your own worst enemy. Identify your conflict in life, prevail over it. Be a comedic hero. We all have tragic flaws. The difference between a comedic hero and a tragic hero is the comedic hero doesn't let individual flaws prevent success. And besides, it's a lot more fun to be in a comedy. So who are the other characters in your story? Who are you in a relationship with? Is this a family drama? Is this a love story? Who do you come in conflict with? Who is important to you? Who's a challenge to you? Who do you learn from? Who's your Yoda, your Dumbledore, your Zimmerman, your Goulden? Who's your mentor? Who's your sidekick? Identifying the leading players in your life's drama will allow you to act your part more easily. And you'll also be able to not be bothered so much by those people that aren't really even in your drama. Let them have their own drama. You've got your own show to produce. In drama, there are a series of events that are linked in a cause and effect kind of way. These are significant moments where we say that something has changed. The situation is measurably different after each moment has occurred. And these causally linked events are the plot of the drama. And your lives are equally marked with significant moments that dramatically change the story of your experience. Being able to identify the inciting incident, crisis, and climax of a play has now given you the tools and the language to notice when similarly important life-changing moments occur to you. When something happens to you that introduces a brand new opportunity or a brand new conflict, when choice is required on your part, which will alter everything that you will experience hereafter, you, the protagonist, are having a plot moment. You start a new job, or you go on the first date with someone, or you meet three witches in a field and they foretell you becoming king. But that's highly unlikely, and I don't advise you listen to them anyway. But there will be plenty of opportunities presented to you, so celebrate these moments and choose wisely. Another important part of the Greek drama was the spectacle, that is, what the audience sees. The sets, the props, costumes, lighting, and special effects. And this is true in your lives. There are spectators all around us watching what we do, witnessing our life's drama, and cheering us on as protagonists. Today, what you do on stage and online is in full view of the world so much more now than it was ever before in history before us. Surely much more than when Shakespeare said, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players." Choose carefully what you want others to see. Take a note from Zai, Gabby, even Will Fleming, and make sure your costumes, your special effects, are telling the story that you want to tell the world. Now, no drama today is free of a soundtrack of some kind. Musicals, operas, sure, that's understandable. But can you imagine a movie with no music, no underscoring? Even silent movies weren't really silent. There was an organ or a piano or an orchestra providing the accented rhythms and melodies to support the dramatic action of the film. Remember Shakespeare's Macbeth? The drumming, the flutes, the horns, the hautboys. In Elizabethan England, a hautboy was a kind of an oboe. They probably had the other kind too. Some sort of Shakespearean Ryan Gosling. Anyway, what is the soundtrack to your life? What's on your playlist at the moment? Do you prefer the electronic beats of Michael Kessler? the vocal and guitar of Aaron Dupuis, the breathless crooning of Will Kinane, or the keyboard stylings of Dara Prokbar? What rhythms and melodies support the dramatic action of your life? Do you sing in the shower or the car? Do you dance when no one's looking or when everybody's watching? I'm not just talking to Ellen and Tori and Daria and Harrison. Everyone, sing more, dance more. Susie, play the piano more. Chris, play that cello more. And Joe, definitely play the sax more. The language of each play differs based on when it was written and who wrote it and what they're trying to say, who the characters are that are saying the words, etc. Now, Shakespeare wrote completely different than Tracy Letts or Tennessee Williams. Yet they all wrote powerfully memorable words for characters to say and possible lessons to live by, whether it be Lady Macbeth's words to her husband as they plot the death of the king, "But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail." Or in August, Osage County, Barbara's words to her mother, Violet, that she's taking control of the Weston family. "I'm running things now." Or what about Blanche Dubois in Streetcar Named Desire? "I have always depended upon the kindness of strangers." We can learn from these characters perhaps what it is to make decisions that will affect our lives, but we must use our own language. You are writing the words for yourself daily because you're not only the protagonist, you're the playwright. Barstow has taught you all to be good writers, even great writers. Many of you will go on to write many things as journalists and teachers, lawyers, doctors, even screenwriters. Alex, I am serious about you getting me a part in that film. Remember, your words are not only on the page or proclaimed from your mouth, they're on Facebook, they're sent to hundreds of cell phones, in texts and chats and tweets. You get to choose the language. The opportunity to say something to a large audience is readily available to you. Remember, you're the playwright and the protagonist. So what do you want your protagonist you to say? Choose wisely. You're all very experienced and astute at identifying major and minor themes in literature. But have you chosen a theme for your own story? Or has one just accidentally happened? And is that theme something you're proud to be known by? What is important to you? Great characters struggle through life, but they are drawn onward and upward because of the noble themes that call them to be better people. These themes color and shape the actions that will become your greatest accomplishments. So know what is important to you and choose to express those important ideas as perpetual themes in your own life story. And remind yourself of it from time to time. Tell people what your life's theme is. You can embroider it on a pillow, paint it on a sign, carve it in a stone, tattoo it on your arm, etch it into glass, or post it on the front marquee. But honestly, the best way for people to know what is important to you is to show them. Show them by your choices. Show them by your actions. Be the theme. You are the protagonist, and it's your life's drama, your art. Choose the characters, the theme, the setting, the music, the language. The curtain's going up. Now make your entrance and play your part. The plot choices you make in your life will carry the protagonist you to a happy ending, and we will all applaud. You've heard a repeated word tonight throughout this discussion. Choose. Actors make choices. They don't just stand on a stage motionless, but they are characters in action. They ask, what is my motivation? What do I desire? What must I do to reach my goals? And then they make a choice and they act. They listen. They pay attention. They are focused. They speak up. They are heard. Their actions are often of such a nature that audiences are moved to tears, or they belly laugh uncontrollably. And very often, they spring to their feet and applaud their accomplishments. For you see, audiences are moved by what they can relate to and recognize as familiar. And audiences recognize that art imitates life. And art imitates their lives. And great art is always laudable and applaudable. And life is great art. You've all made so many pieces of great art already. And now it's time to decide what your art will be in the future. So let me practice a little bit of that. I've written a little piece of art in the form of poetry, in the form of an Irish prayer that I'd like to read for you right now, that I like to call a Barstow graduation blessing. As you leave Barstow's halls and begin a journey new, I wish a few simple comforts to carry you through. May you find a new place and feel you always belong. May your days have flex periods so they never seem long. May your fields have coyote decoys to scare the geese away. May you have courts for basketball or foursquare whenever you just want to play. May your salad bars have pineapple. Your ice cream be soft serve. And may you have access to a workout room whenever you get the nerve. May your cupcakes have icing that won't stain your face. May your science lab partners never set fire to the place. May your lounges be cozy, your rooms clean and neat. May you finally learn to pick up after yourselves and take out the garbage and run a vacuum cleaner once in a while if it wouldn't kill you, because I will not be there with a broom. Sorry. May you have teachers who love you and guide you through every turn. May you never forget how to listen, how to study, and how to learn. Okay, I better finish this speech because it's getting late and I need to return some videotapes. I will leave you with this last advice. Advice from a much better writer than I. It's from Shakespeare's Hamlet. It's the advice Lord Polonius gave to his son, Laertes. There, my blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new, hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in it, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This, above all else, to thine own self be true. And it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in thee. Thank you.
Will the class of 2013 please rise? By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees in the state of Missouri, I now confer upon you the status of high school graduate. As your name is called, please come forward to accept your diploma.
Daria Nicole Legrand. Lauren Elizabeth Estes. Dara Parakbar. Victoria Sydney Ball. Ashley Lynn Gratwick. Adam Lake Singer. Michael Kessler. Austin Bryce Krause. Ellen Nicole Krause. Brian Craig Lundgren. Anna Claire Victoria Bradley. Nora Catherine Lloyd. Derico Ricketts. Lexi Bayless Sheely. Christopher Michael Sokoloff. Ellen Elizabeth Babbitt. Farwa Heathery. Braden James Nyhart. Daniel Aaron Dupuy. William Andrew Fleming III. Bilal Danish Hamid. Sonia Eden Larbi Aisa. Michael Timothy O'Brien. Catherine Jan Sloan. Susan Hao Zhu. Morgan Che Barbagallo. Sohil Kumar Bhagat. Marie Louise Foree. William Henry Canan. Joseph Francis Lenart III. Wakar Zia Zuberi. Brennan Douglas Depew. Jordan Riley Graber. Grace Gibson Guthrie. Zai Nikel Nzauro. Alexander Thomas McDonald. Jacob Stewart Roberts. Harrison Michael Rosenthal. Emily Wen Snow. Judson Dale Woods. Maximiliano Gerardo Cantulima. Gabrielle Nicole Veneroli. Seju Kwan. Jessica Emma Schneider. Lindsay Marie Smith.
And now we come to the charge. The charge is given by the headmaster to the graduating class as a final message from the school. Several weeks ago, I had the pleasure of making remarks about two of the finest educators that I have had the pleasure to work with, Mark Adams and Art Crum. And I would now invite these two gentlemen to come forward and stand before the stage. Mr. Crum, Mr. Adams. These two men have given a combined 75 years to the education profession, and in doing so have shaped countless lives of students, parents, and their peers. Will the class of 2013 please rise? While it is my honor to give you the charge this evening, let the example set by these two extraordinary teachers set your course for the future. You have been given the best this school has to offer. We are proud of you, we love you, and we will miss you. You are the class of 2013. You are the Barstow School. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to present to you the Barstow class of 2013. Mr. Adams and Mr. Crum, will you please lead the class to the circle?